I can't hear you. It says that you're muted on the screen.
I mean, oh my God. Hello?
There it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
Man,
There we go. What's up, player?
what's going on, fam?
You tell me, man.
Man, it's a lot going on in the world of sports right now, so it's easy to stay entertained.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, man. First of all, appreciate you joining in, man. And let's jump right into it, man. I'm gonna just give you the floor. Your thoughts on the John Gruden situation?
Man, it's a sad thing to see. Honestly, being from California and just how much so many Californians love the Raiders, you know, people in California really love John Gruden. People of all walks of life, black, Hispanic, white, Asian, all over. There's Raider fans everywhere. They travel well, and I had no idea. I didn't even think that you could work in the world of professional sports, dealing with young, diverse men and being a leader in that group, and then you could have these views where you could talk so badly about them behind closed doors when these men go to battle for you each and every Sunday, and then behind closed doors, you're making remarks that are just unforgivable. I think that he had to be gone, but it is sad to see. It's really sad to see, and it's a truth that got exposed. That's good for our society, but at the end of the day, it's scary because he got caught at indirect damage from another situation, and he was dealing with a whole bunch of bowl owners, CEOs of companies. So you just really never know of all the guys out there how they really feel because this went undetected. This guy was on Monday Night Football. This guy was doing Gruden's quarterback camp. This guy was interviewing every good quarterback that came into the NFL for the last decade. He's interviewing them and having like a high opinion as to how high they get drafted and being a judgment of their character. But behind closed doors, this guy has racist point of views, sexist point of views, anti-gay, misogynistic point of views. It's just a really sad situation to see. But I'm glad that he got caught, and I'm glad that he's no longer in that locker room because there's no way that you can lead that group of men after you've been exposed in that way.
As a former player in the league, and I'm gonna push the envelope with a little of these questions, and I'm not sure where you're standing is, so you can tiptoe however you want. I'm just gonna throw I throw the questions out. You can take it how you want, man. If you had to put a percentage on coaches and owners who feel like he does on any of those topics, what would your percentage be?
Mm, I would say safely 10 to 20%.
Okay.
But I'd say I bet money that that's low. But safely, I
Yeah.
would say
So would I.
10 to 20%.
So would I. I put I would put my first Vesson sponsor check on over 20%.
Yes, sir.
I'd put my first sponsored check on over 20%. And it like you said, it's a sad situation. And it's to me, it's only sad because he was so likable. That's where I fight with it. I'm not surprised, and I know you didn't hear this earlier, but I'm not surprised that there's a middle-aged white guy in pro sports who's not too keen on women officiating, gay players, black players protesting during the anthem, and talking shit about the commissioner. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised, Curtis, when I'm in the mall and I see the Karen going off. That doesn't shock me. I've been in sales for 20 years. I've seen that already. I saw that way before phones were out and you can record it. I've seen where's your manager? I'll have your job. Like you're that upset with me because I can't fix your phone. You'd rather affect how I can feed my family. Yeah, you're a real great human being. So it doesn't surprise me. And I think that's where a lot of I guess one of my frustration with the journalism industry and the broadcasting industry is now I think it gives people a chance to sit on TV and kind of pom and chest pump when I just really want somebody to be real and just go, I'll make it real short. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised there's a white guy in the NFL who feels this way. All right, you can take it from here. Like this grandstanding is kind of what I can't stand. How does the NFL fix this though? Do they need to be really transparent and let this whole investigation out that happened with the Washington football team?
I think they do. I think any email that was sent um, by anybody that's currently working in the NFL or might work in the NFL in the future or is attached to the NFL in any way, any email or any evidence that they find as a result of investigating Washington should come to light because then they could at least do damage control from that standpoint going forward because I mean, there's no telling what's really out there, and they have to save, their image, and they have to clean it up as well. They need. I think one of the biggest things that they can do is make sure that they hire a minority candidate in John Gruden's place to take over. Possibly Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs, guys like that that have just been sitting out there ready to take a role. I think that is something that they definitely should do if they want to, take care of business and handle this the right way. I think that somebody in John Gruden's place should be somebody who they know for certain, does not have any of these same type of ideologies and viewpoints behind closed doors.
I like the Bieniemy name. Here's another name I'll give you too. I think he'd be great for the USC job also. How about you get on a plane and you fly up to a beautiful city up in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, and you go knock on the front door of a gentleman by the name of Ken Norton Jr. And you bring a guy like that because he's a defensive-minded guy. They need to fix the defense there. I'm baffled why he doesn't have a job. And listen, I'm on the end of sports, bro, where I understand it's a dirty game. I understand it's a corrupted game. And if I was on that pro level, I might be a little shrewd as a businessman. And I knock on his door and say, "Aren't you tired of kissing Pete Carroll's ass?" Right? I mean, this Seattle thing's done. Is this Legion of Boom? Where's Richard Sherman? He's gone. Where's Cam Chancellor? Oh yeah, damn. He's gone too. Damn, all these guys. Where's Browner? Oh God, wow, you don't have those guys anymore. Your defense is ranked 32nd in the league right now, and you have a quarterback in the offense. Aren't you tired of kissing? Pete Carroll's old, bro. Like, come on back to come home. You played come out to Vegas, come out to a franchise, and he would have a super long leash in Vegas because if you bring in a black coach. The one thing you can't do after this is fire him quick. So he's got a 4 or 5 year leash if he comes to Vegas. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, I would like that. I would also like to see Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was my former defensive coordinator in Philadelphia, second year of the Dream Team, and he was my DB position coach that I coached under him, or I played under him. Mm-hmm. And look how he's got that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense playing. I think he would be perfect to come over there to Las Vegas and just kind of get that. He's almost got a Raiders mindset when it comes to playing defense. He's a former NFL DB himself. He's a Rough Rider. So I think he'd be perfect there as well.
Yeah, I like Todd Bowles. I'm a Dolphin fan, and he was in Miami and had the head coaching job, had an interim job in Miami for a year. And at that point, our defense was great. We just couldn't. We didn't have a quarterback. We went through Chad Pennington and Jay Fiedler and Cleo Lemon and Pat White. I don't know what the hell they were thinking about the Pat White. Jesus, but yeah, I do. I agree with you, Todd Bowles. Another name I like out there, minority wise. And the thing is, somebody brought this up to me on my show the other night about Byron Leftwich, and I'm from the East Coast. I'm from that area. I remember when he was at Marshall. And doing this thing in high school in that area too. I just don't think that. I think there's other guys that should. I'm all about getting in line. Like I think there's certain guys that need their shot first before you get that guy in. Bieniemy, Bowles has had job. Lovie Smith is out there. Lovie Smith is back in the NFL after trying his hand in the Big Ten with Illinois. There's a guy that's got head coaching experience that's coached in the Super Bowl. That's coached in conference championship games. There's another name out there too, but it would just feel like a recycled thing. And I think some of these other names deserve another shot. I also agree with you on the transparency thing. The only way this situation gets fixed, you gotta out everybody. You already saw Jeff Fisher have to come out now because I guess in one of the emails, Gruden said that the NFL pressured the Rams to draft Michael Sam, who was an openly gay player coming out of college, sit by with his boyfriend and made sure they got the kiss on camera for the draft coverage and everything. And, so whoever he was talking to, he didn't just bring it out of his ass. Like, that's something he knew or heard or felt. And it was like, okay, because if you don't draft, and what was the talk? Remember, if you don't draft this kid, it's going to look like you guys don't want to draft a gay player. and that they put it on the Rams to say, hey, you guys need to take this kid for whatever reason. Jeff Fisher's now had to come out and say that it's not true. He was drafted as a co-defensive player in the of the Big 12 conference, and he was a great player. That's why he got drafted. So I
he
think
was a good football player. I actually thought he should have went higher. I think maybe some of the distractions came into play.
Yes.
And teams they just didn't want the distraction of the tabloids of having an openly gay player. So that's why he slipped. But I thought just looking at him as a football player, he deserved to go higher.
Yeah. Well, and also too, I will say this also too, is that once he got to the league though, and this being a former pro player, and I analyze this all the time. If you look at how many successful high draft picks there are in the NFL, the number is very small. In the first round, maybe 8 or 9 guys are going to pan out. There's 32 picks. There's 20 guys that aren't gonna fester into the NFL. Their bodies don't mature. Their mind don't mature. They don't work. I don't know. They don't study to play with. Something happens where the league they're not fit for the league. I know there's politics. I'm talking aside. I'm talking about just ability. Once he did get to the league, though, it just kind of looked like he was blockable. It just kind of looked like that college speed didn't translate to the NFL. And I thought that was something. And that's another story. I just brought that up just to pinpoint where Jeff Fisher has had to come out now. And I think transparency, Derek Carr said it best. Let's just show all the emails then. And show all the emails and text messages, and let's find out then.
Let's just see.
Let's just see. Kyrie Irving. Let's switch into the Kyrie Irving situation, man. I don't know how you are, vax or not vax. I'll just state out there, I'm against vaccinations because I know the history of this country and I know the history of what they do. Yes, I understand it might have stopped polio or something or this or that or blah, blah. I was in the military where you stood in line with 150 other privates in your drawers and it was haircut, uniform, poke, poke, poke. Haircut, uniform, poke, poke, poke. Like I at that point, I'm 18. I don't know any better. But as a grown man and studying over history and then listening to the hypocrisy that goes back and forth, I'm not a politics guy. I don't get into politics, but I hear when you lying and I hear when you tell me something and then you backtrack and then you try to tell me again and then you backtrack and you try to tell me. I don't mess with that. I just go, just listen, I understand there's a plan. I don't care what other people do. It's like a crackhead, right? Smoke crack. I don't care if you smoke crack. I don't give a damn. Stay away from me with it. Do you? I'm not that guy that's into people's lives and what they do. So I don't agree with it, but I know these leagues are forcing it. Jobs are forcing it. They're making people choose take care of my family or fall in line. And I have a major issue with that. I back Kyrie on this because I think the NBA is the fakest activist league of all the leagues. The NBA is so fake. People have to forget a few quick Vesson sports history lessons. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, a.k.a. Chris Jackson, who used to be able to fill it up at LSU, played with Shaq, how they did him in the NBA. They make y'all talking about the NFL anthem. The NBA makes it mandatory that you stand. You're not allowed to have a choice. Let's go to Craig Hodges and what the NBA did to Craig Hodges when he tried to speak up with the championship Bulls and give a list to George Bush on the White House visit of, hey, this is what we would like for you to do for black people. You said you was going to do, and they railroaded him out of the league. So all your activism on the bubble last year and the names on the jerseys and the course, everything was Breonna Taylor. Everything was Sandra Bland. You don't hear none of them brothers talking that shit right now. None of them. When they went to China, they all fell in line. When they went to, remember, Daryl Morey, the NBA was like, hey, and he's an owner. He's an owner in the NBA was like, hey, bro, we make a lot of money over here now. Blah. Daryl Morey's like, I'm an owner. And then when you came to your activist guys, they all fell right in line. Some of them were talking about the vac. Now it's safe for myself and my family. They fall in right in line. Kyrie is speaking for the people, Curtis. Kyrie is speaking for the people like me who are sick of being lied to. You told me I have a freedom. You told me I have rights. You told me Columbus discovered this country. You told me the earth was round. You told me we landed on the moon. You keep telling me all this shit, and I keep seeing that you lying to me. And I'm the person that's like, yo, you're going to lie? Fine, I get what the government is. I get what this country is. But don't expect me to fall in line with your lie. And Kyrie, to me, man, and I'm passionate about this shit. He's speaking for the people. And that's what's being lost here. And well, it's easy to say if you've already got 20, 30 million. There's no such thing as enough money. You play pro, so you know that. Ain't no such thing as enough. If there was such thing as enough money, they wouldn't sign a 185 extension. They wouldn't sign a 250 million extension. They would go, nah, you know what, Mr. Owner Marsh, I'm fine. I made 68 million already. I don't need that 125. No, what do? They sign it. There's no such thing as enough money. So this idea that he's rich and so it's easy. No, it's not. He's risking more than my 55,000 a year. He's risking that 20 million. The Nets pulled the 185 extension off the table. So don't tell me because he got bread that all of a sudden now it's easy. He's always been this type of guy. I've always liked Kyrie. I support him because it's not about sports. He's like, yo, y'all keep telling us these lies, and I'm sorry. You're forcing this on people. Now, people can do what they want. He said on his IG Live last night, you can do what you want, and because you have that right. But I have my right, or at least I've been told so. I have my right that I don't have to take it. Your thoughts on Kyrie Irving, man? I give you the floor, homie.
He does have a right. I respect his right to choose. When it comes to the vax, I feel like no one really knows. So anybody who sits here and says that they know one way or the other, it's a good thing or a bad thing, they don't know. You just make your best guess, and you do what you feel like is best for you, your family, society in general. So I respect Kyrie's choice to do what he wants to do. Now, he has to live with the consequences of that choice. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to force him to do it. They're like, oh, we can't make you do it, but this is a way we can make you do it. And that's against his principles, and that's his prerogative to choose. I think in this situation, it's about priorities and it's about risk, right? So how important is it for Kyrie to come back, join James Harden, join Kevin Durant, and win an NBA championship? Now, for James Harden and Kevin Durant, they might have similar viewpoints to Kyrie Irving, but they might be willing to take the risk. You know what? I'm going to get this shot like everybody else, and I just want to play. Also, you got to think the NBA has, I'm sure, that its own doctors, its own researchers that vet things. And so you could trust the government, you could trust the NBA. A lot of players are choosing to do that, like Andrew Wiggins, but it's not something that Kyrie Irving is choosing to do. I don't really know his personal reasons for doing this. Some people are saying that he's doing it for attention. Some people are saying that he's doing it because these are his true feelings and he's speaking for the people just like you. I can't sit here and act like I don't know, but I do respect his decision if it is for him and not for attention. We'll see in the developing weeks if he continues to take this stance and keep this stance, but I think that's what it's about. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, James Harden, Andrew Wiggins, these guys are like, you know what, generational wealth is more important to me. You know what, winning an NBA championship is more important to me because I'm running out of time. These guys in the NFL got it. Obama got it. This person got it. This person got it. I'm willing to take the risk. What's the worst thing that can happen? And that's, I'm sure, what they've had private conversations with Kyrie about. Like, come on, bro, let's go. Let's go get this chip, man. Forget all that. I know you might be right. But come on, let's go get this chip. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. It's about priorities and it's about risk. How much of a risk is it for Kyrie Irving, and how much of a priority is it for him to come back to the team and win another NBA championship? Because Kevin Durant has 2 rings, right? Kyrie Irving already has 1 ring. But you got James Harden sitting over here winning MVPs, winning scoring titles. He's got 0 rings, right? So how much do you care about James Harden? How much do you care about Blake Griffin? How much do you care about these guys that are running out of time? Kevin Durant, he's not worried about getting 2 rings. He's trying to get 4. He's trying to tie LeBron. He's trying to get 5. He's trying to tie Kobe and Magic. He might even be trying to get 6 and tie Jordan. You know what I'm saying? These guys got agendas, and they're willing to take the risk because it's a priority to them. Now, what this does tell me about Kyrie Irving is that it's not a priority for him. I don't know how much he cares about basketball, but clearly not as much as he cares about his own, beliefs and his influence on the world, which is totally respectable.
I was going to say, is he wrong? Is he wrong for that though?
No, he's not wrong, because you look at guys like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali did the same thing. He didn't want to go to Vietnam because he didn't have any problem with any Vietnamese men. He didn't want to kill those men. He didn't want to go to war. He was willing to exit boxing in the prime of his career and sit in a jail cell rather than box and make that money. And people respect him for it. But he had to face the consequences because they tried to do the same thing to him. Now, do I think that the situation with Kyrie Irving is as comparable as the situation with Muhammad Ali? Not as much,
Not as
but
much.
it is comparable. So like I think that that's his choice, and I would respect him if that's his choice. But it would tell me that he's not like a Jordan. He's not like
No.
somebody who just really cares about winning the chip. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
that there are other things that are more important to him, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you just said. No, Kyrie, and I think that's why I like him, because Kobe's my favorite basketball player, him and Isaiah Thomas of all time, right? I love a Tom Brady. My favorite NASCAR driver was a Jeff Gordon. My favorite tennis player is Serena and Rafael Nadal. I love Ronaldo and Messi. Like Tiger was I play golf because of Tiger Woods. Like that's if it was never a Tiger Woods, I probably would have never played golf. I
Me
played golf
too.
because
Look
of
at
Tiger
that.
Woods. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
Yeah, you're a golfer. Exactly.
all
Yeah.
day.
It's but these guys were sadistic and psychotic about winning, and nothing else came before that. To me, it feels good to see a guy that's different, but he a stud. He's a big dog. He's an alpha. Cleveland don't have that championship hanging there if there's no number 11 on that court. Let's not fool ourselves. They don't have that championship. They're not close to that championship if there's no Kyrie. So he's that good. We're talking about the Nets because Kyrie's there, because him and Durant teamed up, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, here." If it was Durant and Kyle Lowry, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So Kyrie is that good. So it feels kind of cool to see a guy that is that baller, but is looking at the bigger picture in the bigger view. And I, for one, respect that. Kobe and Jordan, Magic, Kareem, those guys were never really put to that test. So they didn't really have to have to battle that. Kyrie is being put to the test because we're in a pandemic now. And you're right. None of us knows what's up, but I'm a conspiracy theorist. I know it ain't on the up and up. I know what they telling us ain't the truth. I know what we seeing on CNN, MSNBC, Fox Sports News. I know all that shit's lies. So I don't know what this is all about. Are we going to martial law? Or is there really a virus that they don't know where it came from? And it just but in my head, I'm like, bro, it's 2020 or 2019 when this all first started, the end of 2019 going into 2020. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like in this point in life, like we can't stomp this out. But you telling me that's a satellite that's showing me Saturn. There's a satellite showing me Saturn, and you can't stomp out a virus with all the resources and money and research that we've done on plants and herbs and medicine and science. Like that's what we at. But you can make this though, and this could track me, and this could show everything. But you can't stop out a virus, bro. We going into year 3 of this shit. You can't. That's mentally where I'm at, bro. That's how I live as a man, where it's like, all right, I know I got to go to work. I know I got to make money. I know I got to take care of my family, my wife and my kid. I know all of that, but there's still part of me be looking over my shoulder like, y'all bullshitting though, man. Like y'all know damn well y'all set this up, but we got to work until we're 65. And then when we're 65, you're going to take 35% of our money and then the other 15% and then leave us with just 35%. But the cost of living is going up and the cost of food is going up. So now I'm making less money, retired, and I'm supposed to just be this old dude flying around the world, my wife looking at shit. You feel me? That's just methodically how I really view the world. And it's refreshing when you see an athlete take that stance too, because we both love sports so much. Athletes normally go, oh man, I got to get my money. I got to get my check. Michael Irving told the story last week where he talked about when he was a rookie in the league and they went 1-15 and he's sitting there crying and a 12-year vet said, man, what you crying for? Pick that check up on Thursday. And he was like, what? No, I want to win, dog. Like there's certain people who care for other reasons and there's certain people who care for the sport. I'm riding with them because I just got to stand on my morals. And forever we've been told we're free, and we know water ain't even free. You and I almost the same age. Remember growing up drinking out of water hose, dog? Remember riding in the back of a pickup truck without any at your grandmama's house or granddaddy's house without no seatbelt on it, and nothing ever happened to us, man. Go watch somebody drink out of water hose right now. What do people go? Oh my god! Oh my god! He drank out of a water. Yes.
You got to go to the doctor and get tested now. You got to do this. You got to do that. I mean, you can drink water out of the faucet. Water's, it's everywhere. But yeah, now you got all this pH.
I'm laughing because my wife's right here
for you. But,
and I drink out the faucet. She looks at me like I'm out of my mind. She's like, "Is this faucet water?" Because like if we buy a water in a jug, right, like a gallon. Once that spring water's gone, I fill it up with faucet water and put it back in the refrigerator. And that's my jug. I take it, and I'm just like, bro, like, y'all, we eating food we don't even know what it is. Y'all talking about me drinking out the faucet? Y'all eat a bunch of shit you don't even know where it is or where it came from. But that's just my whole conspiracy. No, not aliens and Bigfoot, but I don't know if we landed on the moon. I mean, you told me for years Christopher Columbus discovered this shit. We know that's a lie. And they still tell kids that. When your beautiful son, when your handsome son goes to school, guess what they're going to tell him in the first grade, Curtis? They're going to tell him that they're still going to tell him the same lie. That you and I as his dads, and my son Cameron, you and I both as dads know it's a lie. Both our kids are still going to go to school and get the same lie. That's why I'm riding with Kyrie, bro. Let's flip to the Bucs in Philly, man. Let's talk some fun stuff. Former Eagle yourself. Just give me your opinion. We talked about Jalen Hurts and some of the other moves they're making there, man. What's your sits on the Eagles? And talk about tonight's game. It's a 7-point spread. Vegas has got it at 7. I'm not sure if that's a sucker. If it was in Tampa, I'd take it. But Philly kind of plays better at home. They historically kind of have been a better home team. I mean, shit, they took San Francisco to the third quarter, and then San Francisco finally drove and got a late touchdown. But they were nip and tuck. That game's 10-7, 11-7, or something weird like that for most of that game. They were right there. Just your thoughts on the Eagles this year, man, game tonight and stuff, and what do you want to see out of the future in the building of the Philadelphia Eagles?
I like what I see out of the Eagles. You would consider the Eagles like a lower tier to a bad team record-wise, just like you would the Detroit Lions. But if you look at the Detroit Lions, they've lost a bunch of close games. So I don't really consider them a bad football team. Yeah. Same with the Eagles. We played everybody tough. We just don't know how to close, and it's because we got a young guy at the most important position. But what I like about the Eagles is we have a young guy like Jalen Hurts, who I think might be the best Alabama quarterback in the NFL. And he has a mindset to overcome. Like, look what he did when he got replaced by Tua, transferring to Oklahoma. They said he's one of the strongest players in the NFL, pound for pound. You can tell he's a competitor. I like a guy like that. Yeah. And he's got all the tools to succeed. He needs to get better throwing the football. But I think his chemistry just needs to go up with Devontae Smith, because in this week's game, I think that Devontae Smith, that's my bold prediction, is that Devontae Smith is going to have a big game. Ooh. Because
I like
Tampa Bay's secondary is really hurting.
Yes.
They got Richard Sherman playing off the street, but he's, Richard Sherman's more like a, being a corner evaluating the position. Me and Richard Sherman came out the same year. He's a really great football player. Man to man, a lot of times in Seattle, he played outside leverage, and he had help coming in from Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas. So he was able to read the quarterback, kind of play in a bail position. And then he would catch guys off guard when he would press them, because he's got such great length, and now his instincts are so great. So he's a tremendous football player. But as far as keeping up with a guy like Devontae Smith, he's going to need help. He's going to need to know where his help is coming from. And I think that more times than not he will. But I think that the Eagles are going to find a way to maybe not necessarily catch him, but catch some of the other DBs on Tampa Bay's defense and target them, because Devontae Smith has got world-class speed, world-class playmaking ability, and he hasn't really had a breakout game this season. And if you look at what happened with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow last week, I think that what Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith can have in the future can be very similar to what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have already found, because I think Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith are similar football players. They just have game-breaking speed, almost like Tyreek Hill. Not quite as fast as Tyreek Hill, but very fast, very good run after the catch, very intimidating to cover one-on-one. And when you just have to run with a guy like that all day, eventually he's going to run by you if you're not built like he's built. So I still think Tampa Bay, more than likely is going to win the football game. I'd like to see the Eagles win the football game because that's my squad. But I would look for Tampa Bay to win in a high-scoring game. but I'm also looking for Devontae Smith to have his best game of the season and break out against a bad secondary right now for Tampa Bay.
I'm with you too, because I'm a big fantasy guy. I play in 18 leagues this year, and I have Devontae Smith on about 11 of my teams. I'm starting him in every game and every team tonight because I'm with you. That secondary is beat down, but it started in week 1. They started losing guys in that Dallas game, and that was their 1 week position. If you went down their roster in preseason, okay, you got. I call him Thomas. I respect him so damn much. I call him Thomas. He ain't even Tom Brady no more. That's Thomas Brady right now. You got Thomas. You got a plethora of running backs you can use. You got receivers, you got tight end, Gronk's out, but you slide in Cameron Brate right there. You know what I'm saying? Cameron Brate was the young guy coming along anyway. They drafted OJ Howard out of Alabama. OJ Howard's supposed to be a big piece there too. Good offensive line. That defensive line, it's crazy. The linebacking core is crazy. I love Winfield, even though I'm a Michigan guy. His daddy out of the Buckeyes was a monster up there in Columbus. And when he got to the league, he just did whatever he wanted to do just about every Sunday for his entire career. His son's got the pedigree right in him too. So I love those positions. But when them corners started to go down, man, you could start to see they could get beat. And you saw it in the Rams game. In the Rams game, they had no answer for Cooper Kupp. They had no answer for Robert Woods. They had no answer for Deshaun Jackson. They had no answer for Tyler Higbee. They just can't cover that many weapons.
Exactly.
If Rager can live up to his first round draft ability, and you add that with Devontae, I'm with you on Devontae. He's such a crisp. I'm former receiver and former corner myself, like yourself. I really nitpick and analyze the position. I get emotional when I watch him run routes, man. His route running, Devontae Smith's route running is just. And you mentioned Jamar Chase. That's who I wanted Miami to take with the 5th pick. I wanted Miami to go that route. They decided to go with Jalen. They decided to go with Waddle. Okay. But I like bigger receivers and little guys, they don't always hit. Like, tell me the last Tyreek Hill, right? It's been a while, right? Welker was thrown around the league until he got with Tom Brady, right? Julian Edelman was a college quarterback at the FCS level. You right? Like, so these little guys, they're hit or miss. You don't miss on big dudes that can run and catch. 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". I want that guy. I need that guy because I know for the most part I could do a lot with him. That small, fast guy, you got to kind of tailor your offense. And I don't want to see people are catching up to the Chiefs, but you and I texted and talked about this in the store. That offense has some flaws. It does. And that's because you don't have a big guy. Your best receiver is a small guy. And aggressive physical defenses that have the athletes to just keep him in front, you can't stay with him. You're right. You got to chase him a lot. Eventually he's going to run by you. But if you could just kind of corral him and keep a few guys around him, 3 of his last 4 games have been very, very under par for Tariq. He had the 3 touchdown game, but the 2 games before that, and then last week, Buffalo took him out of the game. Like, it was like, where's he at? When I can't find you in the game, it's like, okay, you just got taken out of the game. So, little guys, Waddle, but I love your point about Jamar Chase. And remember in the preseason, he so-called couldn't catch this. Remember they were saying that?
Yeah, they said he was dropping a lot of balls.
Yeah. Well, you've come from college to the league. Everybody can't come in the NFL and just jump right in. Some guys have to develop. Some guys have to learn. Sometimes it takes some drills to catch this. This is different from this. They're two different footballs.
Yeah.
And now though, Burrow, every time he's looking for a big play, he's looking for number 1.
Burrow's a dog. He's an absolute dog out there. Because Cincinnati, I played in Cincinnati for 2 weeks.
Herbert. If you had to start right now, Burrow, I call him Jay Herbs because I like him. Burrow.
Oh man, that's so
Burrow or Jay Herbs.
So tough. I'm gonna go with Burrow. I gotta go with Burrow because he's already won it before and he's been doubted a lot before. Like he wasn't, he was rejected in college before he transferred to LSU.
True.
Nobody expected him to win the Heisman. He just went out and had the best season that a quarterback's ever had in the history of college football. And I played in Cincinnati for 2 weeks. Okay, their practice facility and their game field is the same thing. They don't have a cafeteria separate from there. They don't even have a cafeteria. They cater food in the locker room. Their facilities are by far the worst facilities that I've been in, including college. Like
Really?
when you look at Philly's facility and the Jets facility and the Broncos facility, and then you go to Cincinnati's facility, you're like, what's going on here? Where's all this stuff? Why is the world? They really don't have what you would think that a lot of NFL teams have, and I think that was kind of part of their problem is they have such a low budget, and that's why they have problems winning for so long. Because I think that players just get there and they don't feel the same way as they do when they go to other teams. It's just like teams, you get better uniforms, better helmets. I think the fact that Burrow's been able to go there and just like win despite everything. He got hurt. He's coming back. He's playing. He's doing well. Nobody expects him to win. He's not going to an organization. It's like, I think that if you put Burrow on the Jets, they win a couple games this year. Aside from Zach, because everyone's saying Zach Wilson's in a bad position. But I just think Burrow's one of those guys, no matter where he goes, he's going to find a way to win. And now you've given him Jamar Chase, a guy that he already has chemistry with, that has the potential to take the game over. But, I mean, it is tough. Honestly, it's 50-50. It's 51-49 because Justin Herbert is just unbelievably great. And to think that the Dolphins picked Tua over Justin Herbert, that just tells you the fact that NFL scouts, you shouldn't even have an NFL scout. You should just have the coaches, sitting there looking at pieces of paper, making decisions. Why are you even paying a scout if you can't even tell the difference between Justin Herbert and Tua? If you let Lamar Jackson slip to the end of the first round of the draft and all these guys go ahead of him and he's only won more games than any quarterback has ever won before the age of 25. If he wins one more, he'll pass him.
Yep, he'll pass Dan Marino.
So it's like, come on, man! Like these guys miss all the time, and
bring it, Curtis. Come on, bring the juice, baby. Bring it, Curtis.
I just, Justin Herbert. I don't know. I can't even say definitively that Joe Burrow will be a better football player than Justin Herbert because I think they're both tremendous, and they will eventually be top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL for a long time. You could probably even throw them close to there right now. Justin Herbert for sure, because just what the experts are saying, and the way his team's playing this year. But man, I think that those two, it's a neck and neck. But I'm riding with Burrow right now.
Okay. I was up in Oregon 2 years ago calling Oregon State and Cal Poly for ESPN 1280, and later that day, my play-by-play guy and I, we drive up to Eugene because we're going to go to the Montana-Oregon game. During a commercial break, we're up there doing our thing, calling the game. During a commercial break, he elbows me. And at this point, Miami's like 0-6. It's Flores' first year. He elbows me. He goes, #1 overall pick for the Miami Dolphins. I snapped my head around. I almost hurt my damn neck. I said, who? Jabber? Yeah, Herbert? Hell yeah. Look at the kid. Big, strong, smart, moxie, can move, can run, can make every throw and make the right throw when you need to make. Because people can make every throw. Well, I don't care if you can make every throw if you can't make the right throw when I need you to make one of those every throws. So making every throw is an overrated saying and comment that people use. Yeah, you can make every throw, but can you make the 12 and out throw from the opposite hash in the fourth quarter when it's 3rd and 9 and we're down by 4? Can you make that throw? It's easy earlier in the game when there's no pressure, but right now we either make this throw or we're going to lose this game. Can you make? That's when I need you to make that throw. So he does that. Then put on the Wisconsin Rose Bowl game. Wisconsin is wiping Oregon's ass up and down the field until Herbert just says, okay, get right here. And he goes and scores 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. He runs for 2 of them, and they ended up winning the Rose Bowl. You can't measure that shit. That's not at the combine.
The number one thing I have to say about Justin Herbert that was overlooked, and I heard about one of the announcers, I was a good student in college. Okay, I was one of those guys that I had to go to study hall for a semester, and they told me I could get a 3.0 and get out of study hall, and I got a 3.0 the first semester. I got it, right? And I know what it takes to be a student athlete. I think by far being a student athlete is the hardest job I've ever had in my entire life. You work 2 jobs, you do a lot of travel, you miss a lot of your appointments, and you have to make them up. Justin Herbert in college was tutoring other students, not other football players. He wasn't tutoring other football players. He was employed by the university and he was tutoring other students that needed help in their classes while being a student athlete, while being a quarterback, while being in the spotlight. I think that just shows a lot to his ability to learn and his ability to teach and his ability to lead. Because coming into the NFL, you're never going to be ready, but you want to think, how much can this guy learn? How much can I teach this guy? How can I develop this guy? And if I was a scout and I heard that about Justin Herbert along with all of his accolades, I'd have been like, oh, this is a slam dunk. I'm gonna drill this guy. I'm gonna be hard on this guy because the game's gonna come slow to him at some point. It might be fast to him at first, but it's not gonna take long before it starts to slow down because this guy knows how to learn. And I think those are the intangible things. Those are the underlying things that, like, as a scout, you really have to be in tune with, especially at the quarterback position, because, I mean, it's 3 seconds. It's not even 3 seconds when you drop back there. Unless you're Kyler Murray, then you could just dance around until you see somebody open. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping Jalen Hurts can learn how to do that tonight, because I would love to see. That's what I think is going to happen. Because if you look at what happened to Jamar Chase in the game, Joe Burrow was scrambling and he was doing contingency. He was doing scramble drill. He's like, oh, I'm going this way. Oh, Joe's scrambling. I'm going to cut back and go that way. He rolls out. He throws him a ball. I think that Devontae Smith is very similar, can do the same type of things. So if Jalen Hurts can really slow down and just like take his time, like the way that Kyler does, the way that Joe did on that play, Devontae Smith is going to spring open. Because with that secondary, you know, Todd Bowles can get those boys ready to cover for 3 to 5 seconds, but they're not going to be able to cover for 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. You know, if Jalen Hurts can get loose the way that Kyler does. And yeah, that's what you have to do. Game's got to slow down. It's slowed down for Herbert. It's slowed down for Joe. And now we need it to slow down for Jalen so the Eagles can get it right.
You and I spoke about, I believe in him. And he's the only Alabama. And I know I give him the Alabama pass because he transferred to left and went to Oklahoma. And I told you that. I don't believe in Alabama quarterbacks. I don't believe in Nick Saban quarterbacks because I'm not going to be fooled by history. I'm going by what the hell I've seen. And what I've seen are none of these guys, like Mac Jones, like the Patriots are going to rule the day that they thought he was going to be able to replace Tom Brady. Just try. And I know he's a rookie and I know it's early, but you and I, like you've been there. I do this for a living. Some guys you can I don't need a rookie season. I can see it. We can see it in Burrow. I can see it in Herbert. I don't need I'm watching Mac Jones. Bro, you can't break 17 points. And you have a great defense. You can't break 17 points. That's the bottom line. Just go look at the Texans. The Texans coughed that game up on Sunday. They're about to lose to the Texans. Like Zach Wilson, same thing. It reminds me too much of Johnny Manziel. Small, runs around a little too much, and the Jets just don't get it right at quarterback. Darnold, Mark Sanchez, and now him. Like, it's going to be 3 straight top 5 quarterbacks you drafted. You're just, like you said, what are these scouts? Like, what do you do? How do you not work one more year with Darnold, take Panay, or take Chase it too, okay? And then you got a plethora of quarterbacks that are coming out. There's 5 guys every year that comes in the draft that we all love, right? Every year there's 4 or 5 new quarterbacks every year that's going to change franchises that we all love, and maybe 2 of them work out. This year's class, all these guys aren't going to work out. I don't know what Trey Lance is going to be. I like him, but someone brought up a point to me the other day, and it made a lot of sense. I watch him now. I see a lot of Colin Kaepernick. And people could go, well, Colin Kaepernick took the Niners to a Super Bowl. Yeah, but Jim Harbaugh is not the coach there. Trey Lance don't have that defense that Colin Kaepernick had. Trey Lance don't have Vernon Davis. Trey Lance don't have a veteran Randy Moss at that time. People, you got to look at the whole roster. Just don't tell me what a guy. It's like, yeah, Colin did that. You're right. But when those guys started to leave and that franchise started to kind of come back to earth, Colin looked like he looked like an average guy out there. He didn't look like the guy that took him to the Super Bowl. So when I watch Trey Lance, I believe in Justin Fields, and I think Trevor Lawrence is the goods. Urban Lyers is coach, and I think that's just hurting him right now. And you say, oh yeah, he will forever be Urban Liar to me. I've been calling him that since Florida. So that was before he even got
You
up
know,
to
he stays on
Columbus.
his grind.
Yeah, he on his grind.
He
Exactly, he
stays
on
on
his
his
grind.
grind.
And before I let you roll, I just do want to hit the NFL MVP. Just if you could just throw a name at that. I got 3 guys I want to throw at you, but I want to touch on the Urban Meyer thing. If you're a player, you weren't in the league, but if you're a player on that Jacksonville team and he can't face you like a man on Monday, can you play for that guy?
Not if he can't face me, but honestly, when it came out, I didn't think that his players would really be, that mad about it. It's like he's doing what the players are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's going out, he's having fun. You
yeah.
know what I mean? His family's not around. He's not thinking he's getting filmed. I don't have a. If I played for Urban Meyer, I wouldn't have a problem with what he's doing at all. I'd have a problem with the fact that he was sloppy enough to get caught, and I would have a problem if I played for Urban Meyer and he came into the team meeting on Monday and he laughed about it. I think the whole team would laugh about it and be like, "Oh, you know what, coach? We ain't even mad at you, bro. You was just,
Yeah.
as a player, I don't think it would affect me that much. Now,
Yeah.
I do think apologies in order, but no, I think if he continues to do his job, I think he's a good coach. I just think he got caught in a bad situation. But as a player, I feel like if he could laugh about it in front of the team, the whole team could laugh about it, and we could get right back to work. Honestly,
But he didn't do that though. He
yeah,
wouldn't address them as a team. He addressed them in certain groups, and it came out that he told different groups of players and different groups of coaches different stories. That's why I call him Urban Liar. Could you play for that guy?
no, I couldn't.
Okay.
You can't lie to the team. Why you gonna lie to the team? All you doing is going out having fun with
All right.
your whatever she was. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't no different than, it's no
I got
different.
you. I got
Players
you.
can relate, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm like, all right, coach. All right, coach. Like, you got caught. It's all good, man.
Let's get, like you just said, let's get back to work. Well, we got a game Sunday.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when and it was almost like I had a pat on my back moment when I heard that he canceled the team meeting on Monday and didn't want to face. I hit up every Urban Liar fan I knew. I said, I've been trying to tell y'all about. He won't even face the grown men he's supposed to lead. He won't even face them. And like you said, and I said this on another show, I said he could have just went in the room and been like, "Hey, ain't nobody got a phone out right now, right?" And nobody, like make a joke to start, and everybody in the meeting would do what you just did. We would go and be like, "Look,
you gotta
man,
know the pulse of the locker room. You gotta know your players. You come in there, they're gonna be fine."
Blame it on the tough loss right there because they're beating Cincinnati that game. They're playing well on that Thursday night. Blame like, listen, a tough thing Thursday night, guys. I had to get a little grind on. I had to get a little grind. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry it got out, guys.
Exactly.
I'm with you guys. I'm in with this team. I'm with you guys. I apologize to each and every one of you that you got to answer these questions, but let's move on and let's get ready for whatever. Oh, not the Patriots, whoever they play this last week. But let's get ready. Hit the lights. Let's start the film. And I think, and like you said, I think it would have all went away. But the fact that he did it the way he did it talks about his character.
Absolutely, I agree. I think the players, as a player, I wouldn't look at. I would be like, oh, well, maybe you should be working a little bit harder. But at the same time, as a player, you got to take accountability. They've been in a lot of football games. They could have won 2 or 3, maybe even 4 football games this year. They're not a bad team. They're just like the Lions. They're just like the Eagles. They've lost a lot of close games. They're very close, to kind of turning that corner. And I think he's taking it hard because he used to win it. He won it.
And I like the way you say that because as a former player, you bring that breath of fresh air. Because I look at it like that too. There are bad teams, and then there are teams that they don't have the Jimmies and Joes. Because at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, you can write all the X's and O's you want. You could dry erase board. Now they got tablets. You can go on the sideline and get mad and slam all that shit down all you want to. When you go out on that 100-yard field, it's 52 yards across or 54 yards across, and you got to buckle that chin strap and you got to strap on that shoulder pad. Homeboy, some days, the bigger, stronger guy, the guy with better leverage, the guy with more heart, the guy with more passion, the guy that studied more film, the guy that's looking at your hand placement or looking at the way the receiver's lining up, and every time he lines up like that, he runs this type of route because this tight end looks like this. I'm looking at the court. Oh, I got this shit. Throw it. I'm going to jump this route. Throw that shit if you want. Sometimes those guys and the Lions, the Eagles, and the Jags don't have those type of guys. When Dan Campbell broke down the way he did, I defended him because I don't like toxic masculinity and the whole oh, you're crying. It's like, yeah, bro, you got to understand what an NFL life is like. Okay. And I never got to the level you did. I had one trial with the Ravens, didn't go right back in 99. And that's my NFL story. But you're there all week long. You're there from sun up to sundown. I tell people all the time, there's nothing harder to do in sports than to win an NFL game. There's no game harder to win. Basketball, you can go 2 for 20 tonight. You got a chance to redeem yourself tomorrow night. And then you get a break, and then you got a chance to redeem yourself Saturday night. In the NFL, you put in all that work for Sunday. And if it don't go right Sunday, or you come this close, and you see, now if you see guys half-assing, I get it. But you see your guys, all 53, busting their ass, and to keep coming up short. And a guy that played. So it ain't just a coach coming. He played. I felt that. When he did that press conference, I felt that shit. I was like, damn, I feel for this dude. And I clown Detroit Lions like everybody else do. But I feel this right now because I get it. I've seen it, man. It's a lot of work, bro. That's why when you get a win, the exuberance of people on the sideline, when you get a win, because it's like, yo, we just put in a lot of fucking work this week. And then tomorrow morning, you got to start over and do this shit all over. It's the hardest thing to do in pro sports is to win an NFL game on Sunday, Monday, or Thursday night. There's nothing, there's nothing harder to do. So I feel that type of mission. That's why I agree with you. They're not bad team. I don't know if there's a bad team. I think the Jets are a bad team.
Yeah, Jets, Texans without Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
I think when Tyrod Taylor comes back to the Texans, they'll be all right because he's playing incredibly. I feel bad that he's hurt because this guy was over 70% completion percentage. But yeah, there's really no bad teams. I mean, you have the draft is slotted, so that the worst team gets to draft first. The worst team can clear their cap. And if you look at the games, they all come down to field goals. I mean, I don't know how many games I watched where it's the field goal kicker at the end of the game. It's who gets the ball last. You know what I'm saying? It's that close. Who doesn't turn the football over? Who doesn't make a mistake because all these guys are good. All these guys are talented.
Yep.
And it's hard to win. I played on a team where, we had Nnamdi Asomugha, Asante Samuel, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson,
Vince Young,
on and on. And we couldn't even get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have everything figured out. Because maybe there was some miscommunication, but we worked it out. We were 4-8, and then we found a way to win our last 4 games of the season. And we're sitting here like, man, if we'd have been playing like this at the beginning, we'd be in the playoffs right now. We'd be in the tournament. We've had a chance to win it all. You know what I'm saying? So you're always that close. And it just comes down to who executes and who wants it in the last 2 minutes.
And I add to that too, because you're right. Turnovers. My thing is my football win list, and like I said, maybe I'm just radio guy, but you played, and I think you'll agree with this. My menu for an NFL win is very simple: run the football, stop the run, don't turn the ball over, and don't commit stupid penalties. There's gonna be penalty, but like to me, a false start, stupid penalty. You just heard the snap count. You're on the offensive line. You know the snap count. How are you moving? Receivers, I get it. It's allowed you kind of far out. A running back, too. Anytime I see a running back start, it's like, bruh, the ball, if you're a running back, you can actually move a half a second late because you're 5 yards off the ball. So stupid penalties, run the football, stop the run, and like turning the ball over, you will lose a lot of football games. That's the
number one determiner outside of like who has more points is who has the less turnovers.
Yep.
That's it. And you look at what just happened on Monday night. You got the Ravens, you got the Colts, you got Carson Wentz leading his team down the field late. You got a really dirty player on the Colts smashing a Ravens DB's helmet into the ground, right? Visibly, like he's doing this. The DB gets up like, oh, you don't do that. I'm not gonna get punked. He pushes him. Ravens get a penalty for it.
Yep.
Ball gets moved forward 15 yards, and the kicker missed the field goal. But that penalty could have easily decided the game. Kicker missed the field goal. Lamar Jackson leads his team down in overtime. They win the football game. But something little like that could have lost the whole game right there. Everything that Lamar did would have been for naught if that penalty would have cost them, and that kicker would have made that field goal. Luckily for the Ravens, his hip wasn't really functioning that well, and he just couldn't get it going.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's that close.
It was a weird weekend for kickers, man. I watched the Bengals and Packers game and just I mean
Nobody
Mason
wanted to win it.
Crosby. Yeah, Mason Crosby. Yeah, you're right. No one wanted to win it. Mason Crosby, who inner circles in the NFL will tell you is probably the most respected kicker by his own team and locker room and franchise in the league right now. And 3 misses in the fourth quarter, and then the rookie kicker from the Bengals, he misses 3 kicks and an extra point. And Crosby, man, I mean, it's like no one wanted to win the game.
They didn't
And
want
then
it.
rewind a few weeks back, we watched Justin Tucker and back to the Lions, right? They fight and take the lead. This guy makes a 67, 60 what? Off the crossbar? That is, I mean, just crazy. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, I'll let you get out of here on this one. My way too early MVP race. I know it's week 5, but it's a fun topic. I got 3 guys. You tell me what you think. Give me some of your guys. Dak Prescott, total control of the Dolphins, the Cowboys offense. That defense that everybody wants to keep saying is improved is ranked 25th in the league. They're 31st against the pass. They're 4th against the rush, but they played the Giants, no Saquon. They played Carolina, no McCaffrey. They played the Eagles, no running game. They played the Chargers, no dominant running game. They played the Bucs, running back by committee. Tom Brady's going to throw it a bunch of times anyway. So they're giving up 75 yards a game. That's why that kind of looks like that for me. And Trayvon Diggs' 6 picks erases a lot of the defensive mistakes. Dak has total control of this franchise, total control over this team right now. Zeke still ain't running like Zeke since he got his bread. He has a few runs, and I noticed the commentators make sure that they mention people were saying Zeke is done. And I didn't say he's done, but he did lead the league in fumbles, and he don't run with that forward lean like he ran before he got paid. That's all I'm saying. They got a plethora of receivers, but you got one guy's already out, and Gallup was out since week 1. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, and you have Cooper that's got hurt ribs, so he's not even 100%. I like CeeDee Lamb, but it just kind of reminds me of a slot 2-3 guy. I don't think he's a number 1 receiver. Just my opinion about it. Like I said, great return guy. Do a lot of gadget things with him. If he gets one-on-one, cool. But when he's double teamed and he's bracketed, he he hasn't figured that part of the NFL out. Another guy for me would be Jay Herbs. Would be Justin Herbert. They're beating good teams when it needed most against Cleveland. He goes out and puts up 47. I mean, when you need it most, he beats the Chiefs on the road, goes in Arrowhead. I mean, 4-1. When you need it most, they're going to him, and he's providing and producing. And my third guy I would put up there would be Lamar Jackson. No running backs. His best receiver is a good tight end. Andrews is good. I don't think he's great. Andrews is good. Rashad Bateman is number 1 first-round draft pick receiver. He ain't played yet. He ain't played in preseason or nothing. He's been hurt. And Hollywood Browns is like best receiver. Sammy Watkins is he's kind of an afterthought guy in my opinion. He was great and good, but now he's just a guy that's going to do these little things. And the defense isn't even playing that great. And Lamar Jackson just says, once again, okay, guys, God damn it, I got to do this again. All right, get right here. Here we go. 500 total yards of their 528. I mean, they're down 19 in the third. They're down 16 in the fourth. He's a fluke play Monday night to open the year against the Raiders. They're a fluke play for them being 5-0. And I was on Fox Sports Radio with Aaron Torres and Chris Broussard and Rob Parker about 2 months ago, because it was in late August before the season started. And the segment we did one day was the league's catching up to Lamar Jackson. And I got the clip I reposted the other day. I said, that better be a big-ass bottle of ketchup. You better have some tater tots, some curly fries, some seasoned fries from Checkers, McDonald's fries, all the good fries. You better have a lot of fries and a lot of ketchup, since y'all think y'all going to catch up to Lamar. He's going to tear the league an asshole this year. And I said that back in August, and it's starting to look like it right now, man. Those are my 3 guys, man. L-Jax, Jay Herbs, and Dak P, if I had to give out an MVP. You got anybody different, man, or you like those or no?
I got 2 different guys that I'm going to throw in there for you. Number 1 on my list, I got Kyler Murray. Right? His team's the only team in the NFL that's undefeated.
Okay.
He's playing at a really great level. I think they're going to keep it up, and they play in the most competitive division. So if they win that division and they get a 1 or 2 seed and Kyler keeps playing the way he does, I got him atop my list right now. I got Tom Brady. Tom Brady's had a couple 4 or 5 touchdown games. You know, they want to get him the MVP this year. You can see it because they're running up the scores. late in games.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get him an MVP. And if you could give a 44-year-old Tom Brady the MVP right now, I think the league kind of would favor that. So I would bet on him. And then I got Lamar.
Okay.
Because of all the reasons that you just mentioned, he's doing it by himself. He lost a bunch of players, Marcus Peters, his 2 running backs, and he's still doing it. He's doing it in dramatic, record-setting fashion. But I got a couple of dark horses for you.
Okay.
I think that Kansas City is going to get their act together, and I think Patrick Mahomes is eventually going to get back in this discussion.
Okay.
And also Aaron Rodgers, because I've been watching Aaron Rodgers, and the way that him and Devontae Adams have that connection, I think that his numbers are going to be similar to last year's, and I think that Green Bay is going to take over that division as well. So, that's my 5, but the last 2 were dark horse. But number 1, I have to say leader right now for me is Kyler Murray.
I have all the same 6 guys written down, but for Kyler, he fell out top 3 for me because of the performance against San Francisco this past week. I'm with you though. I'm the only undefeated team. And listen, I'll go on record. I was wrong in my NFL preview show I did because I watch a ton of preseason football. I'm that guy, dude. Like I will watch guys that are going to be selling, cars. Okay, I just do. I'll watch it all the way to the 3rd, 4th quarter. I just love football, and sometimes you do see a diamond in the rough, and you do find a guy that you're going to see later in the year, and you could go, oh yeah, I watched that dude back in I watched 2 games where he got a lot of burn. That guy was So I watched a lot of Arizona games being in LA. They run a lot of those out here. Their starting offense had 8 straight 3-and-outs to start the preseason, and I go, okay, guys, this I know it's preseason, but this just doesn't look good. They can't move the football. Kyler was running for his life, and I don't know how they just turned it on opening Sunday and have been able to keep it going. So I was wrong. That offense is humming right now, and he is definitely in the discussion. But I thought the San Francisco loss dropped him. The Tom Brady thing to me, it would be a great story. But if these injuries keep piling up on that team, they're going to be in trouble, and he's not going to be able to go and win. Just go be Tom Brady and just go win again. We saw that with the Rams. He's just not going to just go and just get a win. You're going to play some better teams, and you just don't have the Jimmy and the Joes today. You just don't got him today.
He's old. Later in the season, he's going to get fatigued. And we don't know. Every year, we don't know. Tom Brady, he's been supposed to fall off a cliff for 6-7 years now, and he hasn't done it. But, I mean, at some point, you have to say how long, how can he do it?
Yeah, no, he's still top. Listen, he's still top 5, top 6 MVP conversation to me. I just don't have him in my top 3. And then Aaron Rodgers, same thing. There's just been a few games this year where I'm like, and he's another guy who is getting up there. I do think this offseason weighs on them. I love him and Devontae, but Valdez-Scantling being out hurts. I'm trying to figure out how Lazard only gets 3 targets last week, 2 targets the week before that. I'm like, okay, this kid can play. This kid's a big body receiver. How are they not even looking his way? And Aaron Jones to me just kind of does this. And when he's doing this is when it's easier to defend Aaron. When Aaron Jones is here, it's harder to defend Aaron Rodgers. But when Aaron Jones is doing this, you could kind of go, okay, this is going to be an Aaron Rodgers 49 attempt day. So we could set ourselves up defensively for this type of game. But if Aaron's going to run for 95, a $105, a $108, and Jones, and then Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Discount Double Check, he's going to throw for 350. Okay, this is going to be a hard game to defend. So that's why I dropped him down a little bit too. A dark horse for me would be your guy, Joe Burrow. Still have to wait for it to play out, but I still think Pittsburgh's not that good. So I think Pittsburgh, and they lose Juju for the year. So there's a veteran and there's a leader gone for the year. And Ben just looks old. TJ's already hurt. Defense isn't the same. This just may be a transition couple of years for Pittsburgh to get some draft pick or get some free agents to kind of rebuild. They lose Bud Dupree in free agency, so you lose a rush guy there. Cleveland probably should be 5-0, but they're not. They're 3-2, and they're not in first place in the division as I thought they would be after 5 weeks. So that's the only thing I think that would stop him is that if Cleveland gets their act together, and he's still dealing with the Ravens in that division. But Burrow is a guy that I think he's 6, 7, 8, but it's just a name I just kind of wanted to throw it there. But I think Lamar's the MVP just because, like you said, he's doing it. by himself. I know there's 11 guys. I know there's 53. I get it. But when you watch the film, I tell people a lot of times, Curtis, sometimes put the notes away. Like say I got all my notes here, shit. Put all this shit away. Put the game on. Put the film and turn the volume off. Just watch the game. Let your eyes watch football. And when you watch this team, when you watch the Ravens, they're not a good team, dude. They're not a bad team, but they're not a great football team. He is really covering up 17 players on IR done for the year. Tops in the NFL. 17 guys. He's literally doing this by. Could you imagine him with Tampa's weapons? Could you imagine him with Could you imagine him in Tennessee? Just give him Tennessee's offense. Give him Derrick Henry.
It would be a wrap. It would be a complete wrap with Julio Jones out there and AJ Brown and
handing the ball to Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. It's done.
Yeah. All right, last thing, man. This is just a fun thing. I think I know where you're leaning. So I'm going to preface by saying take yourself away from former NFL player. I think this is a very, very fun topic. If you had to be one for the rest of your life, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Pro Basketball Hall of Famer, winner of a Daytona 500 or an Indianapolis 500, green jacket, which is the Masters, an Olympic gold medal in a single sport, not no team shit, but you did it by yourself, you same sport, or Heisman Trophy. Which one do you want?
Man. Oh, man.
And if you can,
I'm gonna
pull yourself away from former NFL players.
I'm gonna exclude former NFL because, in my opinion, I grew up wanting to win the Heisman. Right, that's the most prestigious award in football, outside of the NFL, whatever. In football, period, if you're a Heisman Trophy winner, it's the most prestigious trophy you can get, in my opinion. I always wanted to be an NFL Hall of Famer. So those are the two. I'll disqualify those two.
You can keep Heisman though, because Heisman's college. The Pro Football Hall of Fame because you play pro football, so it would probably be, excuse me, easier for you to go. Well, yeah, pro, but Heisman you can keep though. That's where I kind of lean with Heisman because there's one a year, one guy out of all the thousands. One guy per year.
I'm gonna go with green jacket. I'm gonna go with winner of the Masters. I'm a huge golfer. I live right across the street from a golf course now. I just moved. I would love to break like 85 sooner than later. You know, I'm totally.
Oh damn, you're that good?
Well, no, I've only shot sub 90 like a handful of times. I'm usually low 90s to mid 90s, but my goal every time I go out there is to play lower than 85.
I'm trying to break 105, bro. I suck.
It's tough, man, but I'm telling you, once you clean it up on every hole. So once you break 100, you'll start breaking it by a lot because it's going to show up on every hole the way you manage the game.
My driver's horrible. I'm a really good iron player, and I can putt. You can put the ball anywhere on the green. I just have this thing of being able to read greens. I can putt my ass off, and my iron game's good. Off the tee, it's 50-50, dude. It can be sometimes, Curtis, I won't even go find my ball.
Well, you know what? I'll give you some advice. Throw the driver away, except when you go to the range. So go to the range like once a week, once every 2 weeks. Work on your driver game. Don't swing it too hard. But when you go out there on the course, just pull out, your lowest iron or, your hybrid or your 3-wood, whatever you can hit comfortably.
Yeah.
And just hit that off the tee. Hit it 200 yards, hit it straight, and then just go from there.
And play from there. Okay.
Because then you're not dropping the ball. That'll save you strokes right there. So you're probably better than a 105 golfer. You just want to work on your game. You're not going to not use the driver because that's cheating yourself. But if you did take out the driver, then I bet you would go under 100 easy.
I'd be out there trying to, and you're right. I don't listen. I don't listen, Curtis. I don't
Nobody
listen.
wants to listen.
I don't listen, man. Everybody goes, stop trying. I'll play. Guys go, yo, V, stop swinging so damn hard. I'll be trying to, because I'm a big boy, I'll be out there trying to, whoa. And my driver, dude, there's balls that don't even make it 50 yards before they start off into the trees. And I'll just go, Yeah, I'm gonna take a drop. Yeah, I'm not gonna go get that. I'm telling
No.
y'all right now. I'm not gonna. I'll just drop right. I'm not gonna go look for that ball. I mean, and it's my driver, dude. I'm out there swinging hard. I lift my head too early because I want to see it. So they get yo, keep your head down. I'm like, if I keep my head down, I'm gonna see how good it look. I'm gonna see my ball fly. So I don't listen, man.
Well, just come on out here to Westlake, man. We'll go off. It's right across the street. It's a
My
par
man.
67, so you really got a chance to break the 105.
Okay.
And, we can get it going.
So, but green jacket for you, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody who golfs knows that the guy who puts on that green jacket every year is a dog because that's a hard course. And it's just, you're competing with the best. Golf is the hardest sport. I don't care what you
Yes.
say. Like, being a DB in the NFL is the hardest position physically. In my opinion, the hardest position overall is quarterback. But like, as far as just a game that everybody can play, just the hardest sport. If you really just want to, golf is the hardest sport by
No,
far.
I'm with you.
It's the hardest sport. It's the guys that are good and really good. I just can't even fathom how they can control the ball so well. It's so difficult. It's not difficult to hit one good shot. It's just difficult to hit majority of your shots good shots. All
Yeah,
of your shots
spin
good shots.
spin the ball back. My dad, my biological father, he was so good. He's so good. He used to play on, and make sure I want to say this right, the senior amateur Nike tour after he got out of the military. And he's a lefty. And dad, he travels the globe to play. Like he'll go to Costa Rica to play golf. He'll go to Asia to play golf. He lives in Georgia. So he plays on those beautiful lush green courses all across. Like he's been to the mat. He's sent me pictures like 5 feet away from Tiger, and Tiger's on the tee at the Masters. My dad's that type of retired military golfer guy. All he does is golf and meet up with his golf buddies around the nation and play. And he's a lefty. And dad does type of shit like, hey son, I bet you I can draw it around that tree. And he'll do it. And I hate playing with them because I'm not, yeah. I'm not even, I drink. I sit out there and drink because they got the Marshall cart that come around with the cooler. You can buy your drink. I drink and smoke the cigars. I'll take a few swings, but y'all out here shooting. Dad scratch. Like I've seen dad post 78, 77. Like seen that like play like that.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is, man. Listen, brother, I appreciate you, man. This was fun, bro.
Absolutely. I can't wait to come back, man.
Oh, listen, you have a permanent spot here, man. I told you I have open door policy. This is how I get down. I'm building something special here with Vesson, homie. I ain't just what you, like I told you, what you saw. That's just a little scratch I need, bro. That's not me. That's not where I'm going to be, and that's not what I'm doing. I got bigger and better things planned out. Tell all my fans where they can get at you, though, Curtis. Where your social media or anything, brother, please.
You can find me on Twitter, KurtMarsh31. Currently working. I do finance. I work for Amgen, a pharmaceutical company. So that's kind of my second career outside of football. I'm not a big social media guy. I will be on Instagram soon. So when I do get that Instagram tag, I will give you that the next time I show up on the show. But you can definitely find me on Twitter at KurtMarsh31.
My man, and we got a golf a day coming up, and let's get a play date with our sons, man. Let's link up as two dads and bring our boys out, man, to the park or something, homie, and let's just go hang out, man. Go play some putt-putt or hit the batting cages or something and just rap and talk some business, man, about getting you money. Plus, I want to learn more about that financial world, too, because I'm going to real estate school and barber school. I'm opening my barber shop by the summer of 2023. So I got a lot of business on my end I want to do, too. So I want to kind of pick your brain because you already in the business on that end. So I want to pick your brain and help a brother out, man.
Absolutely appreciate it. Big bets, my friend.
My man, hey, good luck watching the game tonight, man. Like I said, I think I got it here in the background is Michael Irving and everybody sitting, Joe Thomas and then Steve Smith. So, quick question: hardest guy you ever had to cover in college or the pros?
In the pros, probably in the pros, because in college, I mean, I went up against Kenny Stills in college, and he was younger than me at the time, and I held him to one catch. And that's kind of the reason I got drafted, because I was out of a small school. But I shut down Kenny Stills coming out of a small school.
But because he was a burner in Oklahoma, he was a
I
burner.
followed him all around the field. You know, in 2010, we played Oklahoma, and I followed Kenny Stills on every play, and I locked him down man to man. I held him to one catch.
The confidence of a corner never leaves, man. It never leaves. I love it.
In the NFL, the hardest guy by far was Antonio Brown. I had to cover him one game, and like the shorter, stronger, shiftier guys that are sudden at the line of scrimmage are the most difficult to cover, because me being a big, long, fast corner, I like to get my hands on guys right away. And the bigger guys like Julio Jones that I covered, I was actually able to get my hands on them. The problem is winning the battle for the football once it's thrown. But guys with Antonio, the battle is not getting beat by a step off the line. And he was by far the most difficult.
Somebody I was on the show with last night called him a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer, and I kind of froze. I was like, "Hold on, what?"
Oh yeah, for sure.
You. When I thought about it, but the way he described, he goes, when you really just look at his career, he said, if it wasn't for him going through the stuff he went through, we would still be calling him the best receiver. He said, guys like Devontae and Michael Thomas, they said they need to send him a thank you card for him going through the stuff that he went through that kind of took him out of. They said because for a good 4 to 5 years, he was beyond the best receiver in football. And I had to think about it for a second.
Look at his numbers. He broke a record this weekend. He's still, with that year and a half, 2 years off, is the fastest receiver to a certain amount of touchdowns, certain amount of yards. I can't even remember what the record was, but he's still the youngest to get to where he's gotten right now, having taken a year and a half off. And just to go with what we said about the scouts earlier, that guy came out of, I think, Central Michigan. 5th round. They missed on that guy. You know what I mean? They missed on Jerry Rice. These guys miss so often, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
They should have picked me up when I got released. I'd still be playing. I'd still play right now.
I was waiting for some corner arrogant. You're a real humble dude, and I respect that and like that about you, man. But I was waiting for some corner. Listen, I play receiver and corner. I got a mouth on me, man. I can go back. I go back to my hometown. I still remember every high school game I played, every high school receiver I shut down because I was a bigger, longer corner too. Of course, before you turn 40 and you start gaining weight over trust. When I was in high school, I was all conference in my conference, my sophomore, my junior, and my senior year. I was an all conference corner. I was big, I was long. I used to like guys like Tay Cody. Charles Woodson is my, I think Charles Woodson is the greatest all-around defensive back in the history of the game. I think that highly of Charles Woodson, because I know Deion could cover, and I know there was Rod, and I know there's Ed Reed, and there's Palomalu, and there's Night Train Lane, and I'm a historian, but Charles Woodson,
what's his name?
pound for pound, outside, slot, safety, viper, whatever you needed him to do, he did it better than everybody else whenever you needed him to do it. So corners, I really, one of the things that frustrates me nowadays as I watch grown-ass men, 27, 28 years old in the NFL, making millions of dollars that don't turn and find the football. It baffles me to no end how you're on this level and you're still trying to face guard a guy when you see his eyes light up and you see his hands going up. Guys do not simply turn and find the football. I can't.
It's frustrating.
I can't. I appreciate you, man. Listen, also too, prayers and blessings to your beautiful family, man. And congrats on the new crib, homie.
Thanks. I appreciate
my man,
it.
Curtis Marsh, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, deuces. Thank you.
My man, Curtis Marsh, man, former NFL player for the Eagles. Great stuff. Great stuff, man. I love my show, and I love how we do it. I love that question right there, guys. NFL, Pro Football Hall of Famer. NBA, Pro Basketball Hall of Famer. Gold medal winner, green jacket, or Indianapolis, Daytona 500, or the Heisman. Which one would you want to be labeled as for the rest of your life? I love that question. I love that question. I'm sitting here thinking, damn, which one is it? Heisman to me is because it's the pose, right? It's the pose, it's the trophy. There's one a year, but Also, there's one green jacket a year. There's one Daytona a year. There's one Indianapolis a year. The gold medal was another big one for me too, because there you get one shot every 4 years to try to win a gold medal. And I just think that alone would be put up there as something that you would be going for, something that you would want, man. We're gonna wrap up the show today, man. Great stuff. I'm not going long. As you guys see, I keep starting to cough. I tried to hold it off as long as I possibly can. Time for more medicine for this upper respiratory infection, and for me getting over this COVID scare from last week. It's time to chill with my son for the rest of the evening. I'm gonna check out the Eagles and Bucs. Give me, oh man, I want to take the Eagles so bad with the 7. Give me the Eagles with the 7. Fuck it, that's what I'm going. Give me the Eagles with the 7, and Giants and Dodgers tonight. MLB playoffs. ALDS, NLDS, both of will move on to the Championship League Series this weekend. Excuse me. ALCS is already set. Boston Red Sox, Houston Astros, we're ready to go there. And now the Atlanta Braves are sitting in ATL, chilling, calmly relaxing, waiting on the winner tonight of the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm out here in LA. I normally bang on the Dodger fans and Laker fans, but you know what? Tonight, I'm riding with the Dodgers. I'm riding with the white and blue. I think they go up there in a low-scoring, tight game. The big guys show up. They have more big guys, big moment stars than I think the San Francisco Giants do. So I'm looking for Turner, and I'm looking for Mookie Betts. I'm looking for these guys to make big plays tonight. I'm looking for Bellinger. I'm looking for these guys to all step up, make big plays. I think we need the Dodgers and the Braves as a rematch from last year's NLCS, albeit in the 60-game Mickey Mouse Bubblegum World Series that happened last year. I get that. Fall Ball League Championship. But they were up, the Braves, that is, 3-1 in the NLCS on the Dodgers. Didn't pull it off. Dodgers come back, win that series, go to the World Series. I think we need that matchup in a full 162-game season like we had this year. And now we need to see what's really up with these two teams. So I'm riding with the home team. I'm in LA. I'm going with the Dodgers tonight. Give me the Dodgers 4-3 and just a classic barn burner game tonight. And give me Mookie Betts as the NLDS MVP that makes a big play tonight. I think both pitchers are on the money early, and then they start to get tagged and hurt a little bit and get touched because these managers like to play with analytics, and they start to pull these guys out early and get them off the bump and get them in the dugout and go to the bullpen. I think that'll be a major mistake tonight. I expect the Dodgers to do a better job at that than the San Francisco Giants. So give me Philly with the 7. I think the Bucs will still win, but not more than 7. Philly's at home. Defense is playing well. The Bucs have injuries in their secondary. Jalen runs around, makes a play or two. Devontae Smith has a pretty good game, has a pretty big game. And give me Philly with the 7. Bucs still win, but not by 7 or more. Give me the Dodgers tonight. Give me the matter of fact, I call 4-3. Let's just see what the betting line is before I get off. Excuse me, before I get off here. Let's just see what the betting line is for tonight's game. And it's the Giants by 1.5. So I'm right there. So, that's perfect. So give me the Dodgers with the 1.5. Hell yeah. I'll take the Dodgers with the 1.5 out of Vegas tonight. Put 100 on it. I'll put 100 on it. Dodgers tonight. Move on. To recap earlier in the show, Kyrie, I stand with him. He's going against the fake league and the fake activist people out there. He's speaking up for the real people, for the people about this whole vaccination thing. I'm not for vaccinations. I don't care how you shake it. I don't care what you tell me. And I'm only going by what this country has done. If they were telling me the truth about all this other stuff, then I wouldn't feel this way. But because I've seen you lie to me time and time again, and you lie to my parents, and you're going to lie to my children, why do I believe you on this? That's how I'm really attacking this. That's how I'm really looking at this. So, call it what you want to call it, man. But I'm going to stand there. I'm going to stand there, and I'm riding with my man, Kyrie Irving. Excuse me. And then on John Gruden, I wasn't surprised. I was more miffed and more kind of pissed off that people are acting surprised. Because how can you be surprised at the stuff he said in today's world, and this makeup, this world we live in, middle-aged white guy feels a certain way about women in sports or women refereeing, or black players, gay players. I mean, there's no telling else. There's no telling what else he feels about certain topics and certain communities. So when I hear that, at the end of the day, it's like, this just is who this guy is, man. So that's today's show, man. As always, uh, 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 gotta go out with some Biggie, man. I had the number up there. Open mic. If you got something to say, 860-614-8257. Y'all don't want to call in. Y'all always want to run y'all little fingers on social media. I'm giving you a platform. Here's the number. It's right there. I'm giving y'all a number to call. Y'all want to call? That's cool. I'm about to go make me something to eat and get ready to watch these jeans and leave the Biggie. Hey. I holler at y'all, man. VJ's on Sports Like Conduct. Peace. Call the coroner. It's gonna be a lot of slow singing, the flower bringing. If my alarm starts ringing, what you think all the guns is for? All-purpose war, got the rock bottles by the door, and I feed them gunpowder so they can devour the criminals trying to drop my decimals. Damn. Niggas wanna stick me for my cream, and it ain't a dream. Things ain't always what it's